friends, and welcome back to Inner Health Journey. If you're new around here, my name is Cami. So recently over on Grains and Grits, Felicia talked about this Make Bread 365 challenge, and it looked very interesting, so I thought I would participate in this challenge. It was originally started by Mackenzie over at Little Folk Farm, and what the challenge is that you want to make your own bread for 365 days of the year, and each month it showcases a different type of bread. So this month the challenge is sandwich bread, and I found this no knead oatmeal molasses bread recipe that seems very simple. All we do is mix the ingredients together and we put it in our bread pan and let it rise and bake it. So if that sounds interesting to you, come along and join me as we make the bread together. So what we're going to do to begin with is we're going to take 1/4 cup of warm water. This is between 105 and 110 degrees. And to that, we are going to add a 1 package of yeast, or 2 1/4 cups. 2 1/4 teaspoons, sorry. So today I am just going to make this with regular all-purpose flour, no fresh milled grain, because when I try out new recipes I like to try them with the all-purpose flour so I can understand what the texture look is supposed to be like. So when I transfer it over to the whole grains, freshly milled flour, then I have an idea of what it should look like if I need to add more flour or make any other changes. So I'm going to set that aside, and now what we're going to do is take 1/2 cup of old-fashioned oats or quick oats, and we are going to add those to the bowl. Three tablespoons of butter. I'm just going to give this a quick mix to get the butter to start melting. The recipe that I'm following does call for shortening, but butter will do. 2 teaspoons of salt. This is 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm going to put in 4. And then it calls for 1/4 cup of light molasses. I have this big container because I make my own homemade brown sugar, and I can leave a link to that recipe as well. It's super easy to make your own brown sugar. And we are just going to give that a good mix. So what we are going to do is set this aside and let this come down to lukewarm. And then I am just going to give our yeast a little mix as well to get it all incorporated, to start getting it activated. So now what we're going to do is take our yeast mixture and just add it to the bowl here. We're going to add 1 egg, and then to this we are going to add 1 1/2 cups of flour. And then we are going to mix it with a beater here. So now what we're going to do is add the rest of the flour to the mixture. So that's 1.25 cups. And then we're going to just mix that by hand or by our spatula here, get that incorporated in. So I'm going to just get in there with my hand, try to get this all incorporated. So all I'm doing is trying to get all the little bits incorporated now. I think it looks pretty good. So now what we're doing is just shaping it for our loaf pan. So I've pre-greased my loaf pan, and so what I'm going to do is just put it in there, and we are going to cover this and let this rise till it gets to the top of the pan, and then we will bake it, and I'll bring you back when we do that. Okay friends, our bread is risen. It's at the top of the bread loaf pan, and so we are going to bake this at 375 degrees for 50 to 55 minutes. It did say in the last 15 minutes if it starts looking too dark to go ahead and cover it. So that's what we will be doing. Okay friends, the bread is out of the oven. This is the one with the all-purpose flour. And this one I just tried real quick to make, with the freshly milled flour. This one didn't rise as much. I was in a rush, so it didn't, but I am going to give this one to my neighbor, so we are going to try this one. Obviously this one is going to be more dense than the other, but my biggest thing is the recipe didn't call for any sugar or anything, so I'm just curious how it tastes. I'm just going to put a little bit of butter on there. I like the flavor of this. This is it's a different, I can taste the molasses in it, but it's not overwhelming. For a no-knead bread, I think it turned out good. With the fresh milled one, I'm gonna just have to practice on that one some more. But this other one here is lighter, obviously fluffier, so I'm hoping that the neighbors enjoy this little blessing. Friends, I'll leave a link down below for the recipe that I used to make this, and also I will leave a link to the Make Bread 365 challenge. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.